Hi, Ray and Hank. Just getting off the ferry at Tawasin Terminal on the mainland on the way to Chilliwack for the first night. My stepson lives there, so he's putting me up for the night. Gives me a chance to visit the grandkids too. On your left, just above my left mirror, you can see the Vancouver skyline in the distance, with the mountains behind. So this trip is sort of a spur for the moment thing. I know I didn't plan this trip properly. I even forgot my electric vest. I guess I just wanted to catch the last of the good weather. I'm going to try to make it to Calgary and beyond in the next couple of days. All this depends on the weather, of course. The further inland you go, the worse it gets sometimes, especially in the passes through the mountains. It's really unpredictable this time of year. Oh well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. So I'm not going to stop in Vancouver. Actually, I'm going to go around it. There's a bypass around Vancouver now. Saves a ton of time and you don't go anywhere near the city. So on my way to Chilliwack, I'm going to show you guys a couple of amazing bridges and a volcano, Mount Baker, on the way there. Um, and my running commentary, of course. So as you can see, I'm using the GoPro. Actually, I bought a remote for it so I don't have to stop the bike to turn it on and off anymore. It's a wireless remote, but the size of a wristwatch, and it uses Wi-Fi. It's a pretty safe way to do it. This way you don't have to worry about struggling to turn it on and off and keeping control of the bike. I just mount it onto the handlebar and it works really well. I love doing this GoPro thing, except it's a lot of work. Yeah, it takes hours and hours to do one of these videos, and you need a lot of expensive software, and you're constantly learning how to do things. What I really like is you can really share your experiences better than an email and a few pictures. First bridge we're going to come to is the Alex Fraser Bridge. It's a 2.5 kilometer span over the mighty Fraser River. When it was built in the 1980s, it was the longest cable span bridge in the world at that time. As we get closer, you can see how big that bridge really is. There's 6 lanes, 3 in each direction, and if you look straight ahead, you'll see a tiny little semi on that bridge to give you a sense of the scale. That semi looks pretty small from this point of view. So the road I'm on is the bypass around the city, and it's Sunday afternoon, so the traffic is pretty light. Sometimes during weekdays and on the weekends, sometimes it gets really busy here. So we're just going to pass under this bridge. You can see how tall it is. And then the next clip. On this clip, we're coming past the Fraser River. Well, not even the Fraser River. This is a side channel. The river is much bigger than that. And you can see Vancouver in the distance, getting closer and closer. So the plan was, once I got to Calgary, and depending on the weather, I was going to keep on going east all the way to Manitoba-Saskatchewan border, and maybe even all the way to Brandon and spend a couple of days. But we'll see. It's very tricky this time of year. I wasn't planning on visiting or doing any socializing or anything like that. I just wanted to go for a ride and enjoy the fall weather. We're coming up to the Port Mann Bridge, one of the widest bridges in the world with 10 lanes, 5 in each direction. It's also the second longest cable span bridge in North America. What I really like about this bridge is the aesthetics. It's a beautiful bridge, and when the light reflects off it in certain times of the day, it just looks amazing. We're past Vancouver now, on the number 1 highway out of the city. This is the only road that connects Vancouver to the rest of Canada, and it is a white knuckle drive. This is the scariest part of the whole journey, is the trip from Vancouver to Hope. It's about 100 kilometers, and it's usually bumper to bumper, and they just speed along here like you wouldn't believe. I'm doing about 120, and you can see just about everybody's passing me. In the summertime, it gets up to about 35 degrees here, and it is a white knuckle ride. It's bumper to bumper all the way, and nobody's slowing down. It's not too bad today because it's late Sunday. Sometimes in the summer when you're riding along here at 120 kilometers an hour, the traffic will come to a complete stop in about 30 seconds. And when it's 35 degrees out, you really suffer on a bike. But once you're past Hope, everything opens up and you got the whole road to yourself, which is nice. There's Mount Baker in the distance. You can just see it over my windshield. It's about 100 kilometers from where I am, so you can imagine how big it is. We're getting a little closer to it here, um, but it's a big volcano. It's 5 miles high, and one of these days it's going to blow up, and it's permanently covered year round with the glaciers. Hopefully it doesn't blow up when I'm still around, because it's not that far from Vancouver and it can cause major damage if it did, especially if the wind is blowing towards Vancouver. Anyway, I got a better picture of Mount Baker further up. Um, anyway, I made it as far as Chilliwack, I should let you know, but I never went any further. I looked at the weather when I got to Chilliwack, and there was snow in the mountains on the Alberta side of the Rockies. So there was no way I was going any further. So all I did is I went to Hope, had breakfast, turned around, and came home. Here's Mount Baker in all its glory. It's a beautiful mountain, isn't it? So I never made it over the mountains again this year. So that means it's a challenge for next year. I've already decided to come out in June, but I'm going to gear up for cold weather riding and get proper gear. What I'm doing is I'm GoProing all my bike trips and I'm posting them on YouTube, and that's what I'm going to do next year too. It's a lot of fun, and that way I'll share them with you too. So next year it'll be a complete trip, round trip, hopefully. Almost to Chilliwack. This is the Fraser Valley, beautiful valley, and my GoPro just ran out of juice right around here.